Hello everybody, how are you? Can you let me know if the sound's all right? Because I was just listening to that intro and it sounded a little bit off on my phone. But hi, happy Friday. Hi Gemma, how are you? Helen, is it Helen or Helene? How do I say that? Sandra, hi. Love this collection, the paper's stunning, thank you so much. Thank you Debbie as well, and Carla, I can see you're coming through. Yeah, how are you doing? Let me know. Hi Maria as well, missed you at the beginning, and Rosalie. I'm really excited because I've got two cards that I want to demo today, and they are, well, one is a version of this which has been a huge hit online, so this is actually my favourite card. Now I was saying during the VIP launch yesterday, I haven't even introduced, I will introduce everything in a minute. I was saying during the VIP launch yesterday, there's one card, usually there's one card from a collection that I make as inspiration for everybody, and it's kind of like it's the one card that says everything I want the collection to say. Does that make sense? And that's this one, and I think this has kind of like changed the way I've crafted with this collection ever since I made this one. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a version of this in a different colour so you can see how it was made. Thank you so much for all of you letting me know how the sound is. Hi to Monica as well, design team member Monica, she's here. She's made some beautiful cards with this collection as well. Kim Deer, hi Sam as well, she's joined Mix Up Craft. Linda, how are you? Linda Parkin. I have to say surnames because there's a few of you with similar names. Who else have we got? Francisca said, yeah, thank you for letting me know the sound's good. Mandy Hobden, Astri, how are you? Jenny as well, Jenny Bayliss. Is that Kobe? Am I saying that right? Hi everyone. Yvonne, Nova, Carmen, lots. Oh, Stuart as well. Lynn Harrison, Louise Noah, Alison Williams, Yolandi. I like to go through everyone's name. I apologise if it's not very exciting for everyone. Joyce as well. Just to let you know, I am reading your comments. I do go back as well after the live and I read comments. And if there's any questions I've missed, I will come back and answer those. Stuart, first time here. Well done. Well done. Well done, congratulations. Thank you for finding us. Yeah, thank you for joining me. So today on CraftStash we are launching In the Stars collection. It's a textures range. It's a small collection, so it's only 6 items. That means that the collection itself as a bundle it's just under £60, I think. So if you wanted to spread that cost, it would be nice budget friendly as well. But there's items from as little as £6.99 too. Now all of you commenting, hello Pamela and Diane, all of you commenting, you're going to be in with a chance of winning the entire collection. Because there's only 6 items, you can win everything. I'm going to choose someone at the end of the live. Remind me to do that. Sometimes I almost forget. I don't usually forget, but I almost forget. And then if you're catching this evening, it's Friday the 12th of May. We're coming out at lunchtime, British summertime, on Facebook, but this is repeated on YouTube at 7 p.m. So if you're commenting on YouTube, I will go back and I will pick a winner from those comments next week as well. Usually on the Monday I'll try and go and pick a winner, and I'll comment to let you know. I'll reply to your comment, let you know you're the winner. So if you're watching now and you don't win today, you can go over to YouTube this evening, drop a comment there, sometime over the weekend even, and yeah, hopefully you'll all be in with a chance of winning. Amy, hello to you. Gilmore, hi. Sheena as well. Lots of Joe Crafty, lots and lots of names. Kobe was so excited watching your reveal this morning. She bought the collection, just love it. Thank you. Yes, I did see your comment on YouTube. Thank you so much. I've got so much to show you. Right, let's crack on because I think the 2 cards I'm going to make are going to take maybe a little while. There are other videos going up as well. So there's the VIP video. If you've not caught that already and you are a VIP, you'll find that in the VIP access area on the website. That is a private video only for VIPs, but I did make a card last night. I made this card very quickly, so I'll show you how that was put together. And then there's videos going up on YouTube on my own channel, so if you search Lou Collins Crafts, you'll find that there on YouTube, and I'll have videos going up over the next few weeks anyway, every few days hopefully. The Believe card is stunning. Thank you. So yeah, Lynn, I think I replied to you earlier, did I? It may have been another Lynn because there's lots of you. I'm going to be making this one today. The detail in the dream catcher, yes Louise, let's get onto this dream catcher. Very old. Dave Don, I'm not sure which name I'm speaking to there, but hello. From Sydney, Australia. Wow, you're up late. You must be up late. What time is it there? I try and keep up with the comments, so let's show you this. the Textures Dreamcatcher. So this, again, it is the In the Stars collection, but we're not putting In the Stars on all the packaging. It's going on. This is the name of this actual stamp set. The In the Stars collection name isn't actually on the packaging for this one, I don't think, anywhere actually. So the Dreamcatcher is huge. It's one die. When I say it's huge, it's still going to go. If I bring in, this is my big shot plate, look, loads of room, so you can still die cut it on your smaller machines. But this is, I wanted a really, really intricate, excuse me, Dreamcatcher. Hi Valerie, hi Sally. There was someone else as well. I saw Christine, how are you? And Karen and Sally. Oh, I said Sally, didn't I? Mandy, Kat. Hello to all of you, thank you for joining us. So I wanted as detailed and intricate a Dreamcatcher as I could find, as we could get. And this is, I mean, the designer, so Steph's my designer, she's absolutely brilliant. I know, like when Sam launches, she often talks about, I think Sarah's yours, isn't she, Sam? I have Steph allocated to me. She's done my collections for quite a long time now. She just gets it. She just gets exactly what I want, what I love. She's brilliant, and I sent her over these images of Dreamcatchers that I loved and sort of showed her I want this and I want this, and she's just done it, and she's just amazing. So yeah, that's that, but you can also cut away things like this. So that's just from the centre of the Dreamcatcher. You can snip that away really easily. You've got so much in there you can play with. So obviously that's a doily. I know Monica's used these a lot on her cards. I'm going to show her cards as well. I've got those images to show you all. Yeah, Sarah's yours, Sam. Yeah, they're fantastic, aren't they? They're all brilliant. Yeah, so that's the Dreamcatcher, and I will show you, what I'll do is I'll go through the products, then we'll go through the cards, so you'll catch that in the demos. But do you know what I've actually had 3 people make samples for me, because this was a bit of a short notice one, if you've seen on social media. It wasn't supposed to launch this week, but yeah, really excited. It got brought forward from June into May, so we're launching it today. And so I've had a little bit of help from lovely ladies in the office, and of course Monica, my DT, design team member. They've all been making cards, and this one seems to be really popular, particularly cutting it in black and putting it on a bright coloured background. Very popular. I think most people did that. So there's the Dreamcatcher. Then in the stars, so each collection has like a hero item, I guess. Now I thought it was going to be this one, and now I'm torn between this one and the other stamp set, but we'll go through these. So this is the actual In the Stars stamp set. Now on here, a lot of these look like solid, but they're not. It's just because my stamps are so dirty. But hopefully you can see there when I lift that up, all of the little galaxy and stars that you've got inside each of these images. So you've got, that is actually one piece. Okay, but you can easily cut that out if you want to separate them, sort of the planet and the moon. You've got other sort of comets, asteroids, whatever you want to call them. You've got crystals in here as well. You've got birds, butterflies. That butterflies come off. Now, some of my stamps aren't as sticky anymore because I've been heat embossing around them, and there's bits of powder on them, and I really wanted to wash them before the live, but I didn't. But never mind, most things are already stamped ready. This one in particular, let me take that away so you can really see the detail that's in the stamp. Well, you can see it here, look, that's there. And I just absolutely love stamping these and fussy cutting them out and then layering them up and mixing them up. It's really good fun. So we've got florals in here as well. I know Monica's been a big fan of these too. Hi Maria, how are you? Then I've got a die set. Now Textures is all, of course, it's about text. It's about fonts and lettering, because if any of you knew me from before I was designing Textures, I was the editor of the Simply Lettering magazine. So that ran for over a year until the nasty virus hit. So I was brush lettering my heart out all the time, posting lots of things about calligraphy and everything, and that's where I really have my love of fonts and text. I still love brush lettering and things like that. I do it occasionally in my spare time to relax. Oh, sorry, I just saw, how is your cat? My cat's fine. I realise you're replying to someone else. I replied, Benita, sorry, is your cat poorly? I hope she's better soon. There's actually a pussycat in here as well. So this is my spin on text and fonts within this collection. So we've got a full panel die here. whoops, we've got lots in here. There's 8 dies in total, but we've got the full panel. It's a nice big size. So you can do your backgrounds with that if you want to. It can be a focal point or it can be in the background. Then we've also got a selection of 7 of the words that are included in this panel. Not all of them, but 7 of them. There's just a few of them that came out. And they're these bottom ones here, as you can see. And they're separate, but they're exactly the same as the ones within the panel. So, for example, the word destiny here, as it's the biggest one, you can perfectly lay over the word destiny on there. It lays over exactly. So if you want to cut this just from white, have it white on white, so it's subtle, just a bit of texture in the background, and then pick out one word and highlight it with some inking or a different colour cardstock and put that on, you can do that. So, or I mean, mirror card on like gold on white would look amazing. So that's those dies, and again you'll see these featured a lot within the cards. Then now this stamp set, this is just, it's blown me away. I loved it from the moment I designed it. It's a mix of images that I've found, so sort of basically designing my own tarot cards really. Excuse my items aren't very clean. They aren't brand new. They're the ones I've been using. But you can see they're 2 A6 stamps. They work so beautifully together, and separately, of course. I love that you've got so much you can snip out of these, snip away from these. These are where my favourite cards have come from. So that's the Constellation stamp set. Then we've got the papers, lots of people, so Sandra was saying about how she loves the papers. Yeah, these are the papers. They are so pretty. And they're a different colourway. I've not seen papers in these colours before. So I won't go through them all, but just so you get sort of a hint of what they're like. Look at those. Aren't they just so pretty? And they make really quick cards. I'm actually using the papers just a little bit in my second card, so you get to see those in action. And lastly, within the bundle, the collection, and this is the full collection that you can win, or you can purchase on CraftStash. By the way, if you have purchased and you are the winner, we can refund for you, so don't worry, you're not going to end up with 2 of everything. So there's 2 stencils in this set. I think it's the stencil set that's $6.99, I believe. And one is the constellations as such. So that's all of those gorgeous stars. Love them, star signs you can pick out. I don't know actually. I can't remember whether. I don't think they might be real star signs. They might not be actually. I can't remember whether we did them as. We actually plan and design these months ahead of when they come out. This was probably done 4, 5, 6 months ago. Can't remember. I've got another 3 or 4 in the pipeline since doing this one, definitely at least. So yeah, we do forget kind of where things came from, images came from, and ideas and things like that. And then we've got the sunburst as well. Again, very dirty. Look, this is how much I've been playing with it the last few days. I've absolutely loved it, but I haven't had time to clean everything. I don't care. I'm a crafter. Thank you, Suzanne. How are you? Just checking up on the comments very quickly. They look like real star signs to me. If you know what star signs look like, Carol Kinsey, how are you? Thank you for joining us. And Anne, please can you tell me, are the papers uncoated? You can, yeah, so they are a matte finish, so you can stamp on them if you want to. Your inks will hold on them. They're not shiny, as you can see, hopefully they're not shiny. They are single-sided. They're 190 GSM. So I always do my papers at 190 GSM because they're not a cardstock, so they're not too heavy if you worried about postage weight and things like that, but they are a thicker paper, so you still add all your mediums to them, so get them wet and put your paints on them, watercolours and things like that. So hopefully that helps you out, Anne. I don't want to miss anyone. Joe loves the stencils, and after seeing all Sam's amazing techniques as well with the stencils on Wednesday, hopefully you've got some ideas on things you can be doing with those too. I don't know if that offer is still on the Creative Craft Product stencils, but check that out because they are absolutely beautiful designs, and some of them will work really well with this collection actually. Hi Lynn, don't worry about being late. As long as I'm not late, that's the main thing, isn't it? And Isla, how are you? You must save up. Don't need to save up too much, Isla. It's a small bundle, 6 items. You can always pick and choose which ones. Everything's available individually as well. Alison, papers are gorgeous, thank you so much. Brilliant. Okay, so you've seen this one lots. This is my favourite card. I'm going to remake this in a little while. I'm thinking I'm going to remake it horizontal or landscape, and I'm also going to do it in different colourways as well for you. Just so you'll get the idea of how I put it together, but it'll be a different version for you to see as well. So I'll do that first because lots of people have been asking about that. This is another one that I made in I've done it in a video. So this is actually the tutorial for this is going to be uploading onto my YouTube tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. if anyone's up that early, but it'll be there for the weekend. So you can go and catch exactly how I made this one. Obviously that's really obvious. That's from that stamp set there. Lots of layering and such, but I just love the gold on the teal. I don't know if it looks quite blue here, but there is a green tint to this cardstock. It's beautiful. Let's just scroll the comments. I don't want to miss any questions. Thank you for your answer. You do a bit of blending when you use the papers. Yeah, you can blend on them. Absolutely. I always end up inking edges and things, and that's no problem at all. You need the lot. You'll be up before 7. I'm always up at 5 a.m. every morning, and the trouble is with my husband waking up at 5 a.m. for work, and I get up as well. We get up, we have a cup of tea in bed first. The dogs know that that's up time, awake time, so 5 a.m. even on weekends and bank holidays they're up too. So teal is one of my favourite colours at the moment as well, Louise. It has been for a long time. I'm starting to love greens now. If you look at the colour of my jumper, my bedroom wall is this colour, and look, matches the card that I made at the top corner there as well. By the way, this colour in Distress Oxide is around about iced spruce, if you're interested. I know my teals and greens now. The collection just invites gold. Yeah, I haven't used any silver on this. I've just used gold, so I don't know why. So this one I made yesterday. This was made during the VIP live. So if you are, like I say, a VIP and you... to see the times people are getting up, wow. If you're a VIP and you've not yet checked that out, you can see the tutorial. It was only 5 minutes. It was a quick stamp. This is where I put it all, but you see how quickly you can put these together. This one is using that word, making the most of that word, and then the gold on top. I hope the lighting's okay, everybody. I'm not in the studio today because everything was here from a couple of days of manic sort of, what's the word? Prepping, so I just thought I'd stay here for the live today as everything's here set out already, so the lighting's a little bit different, hence you're not seeing my face, which isn't such a bad thing. But yeah, so just the gold highlights. Oh, and that stencil, the gold stencil in the background is just the sunburst there. This one I made during a live as well, so you saw this if you watched my midweek makes on Facebook recently, on my own page. Only because I had so much prep to do. I didn't want to not be live for you for the midweek makes, but I needed to combine the two. So I made this card whilst live and chatting to you all. It's got some movement in it because we've got the shaker inside. I found a circle nesting die that just perfectly fits the Dreamcatcher die there. Most of you will have circle nesting dies to be able to do that. And the other item, I don't know whether I've got one here to show you actually. I don't think I have. Oh, yes I have. Squeeze my arm through that gap and grab it. It's one of these. I think these should be on CraftStash. I'm hoping they still are. These are from the Creative brand, and they're little shaker domes, almost shaker circles, so they're raised up, and they fit absolutely perfectly under the Dreamcatcher. If you're interested and you're thinking about shaker cards, go and check them out. I will have a look and I'll post a link to them later if I find them. So hopefully if CraftStash or Sam or anyone can have a quick look for them and see their Creative Craft Products brand for me. Thank you. So I've made those ones, and then this is just a mix of the stencil and the stamps and the words as well. The words just die cut from that word panel, but actually the smaller bits. Here's another example, a nice quick example of using gold embossing and then some ink over the top. Thank you, Anita, that's really sweet. Therese, I know you, I saw a comment from you earlier, a nice long one. I was going to read it and I lost it. Thank you for this collection, totally warms my heart, and I know so many spiritual and alternative people. This is the thing, Therese, I didn't think that I knew of anything like this out there. There's Dreamcatchers, of course there's Dreamcatchers, but anyone that's really gone down the sort of tarot card and astrology type route with paper craft items, I think that I know of, these are the first ones. You might get the odd little bit, but a whole collection on it. Yeah, so I'm thrilled. So this is really simple. So I used that stars stencil to make a background. So this was white cardstock originally. Then I did the gold embossing or clear embossing through the stencil and then embossed with gold powder. So you can see they are sparkly. Then I used my different blues, a little bit of black as well, distress oxides, filled the panel. So of course you've got the resist of the emboss there. Then I die cut that word panel, popped everything out, die cut it in the adhesive foam, black adhesive foam, and then put it back in as such. So it actually took a long time because the foam, you've got to pop all these little pieces out. So it takes a while, but it's quite therapeutic and the effect is brilliant. I think just that, I wouldn't do anything else. That actually might be my daughter's birthday card. She's, I didn't mention my daughter actually. She's 18 next weekend, not tomorrow, but in a week and a day's time. 8 days, as she tells me. This has all come from her. This is all everything she's into. So it seems just fitting that it's launching just before her birthday, and I'll be making her card. I think I might just have to jazz up this one, put some extra elements on that and give that to her. Here's a darker card, but really pulling in all the different effects, so you can get the white on black there with the tarot cards as well. We often see that. Tracy Humphreys, hello to you. Yeah, really versatile. And I'm hoping you can use it for lots of different occasions. And I don't think the recipient has to really be into everything spiritual and meditation and tarot cards and astronomy and all of astronomy. I've totally lost my words there. I don't think they have to necessarily be into it, but I think they just make really beautiful cards. This was a super quick one. So this was just simple black stamping onto white cardstock, a few sequins, a gold sentiment, and then what I did is I took this element and I just raised it up on foam pads, just so sort of re-stamped it on a separate card, cut it out and raised it up, and that way it just gives it a little bit of dimension. I'm going to sneeze in a minute, so I'm trying not to. Yeah, male and female. Astrology, thank you. I don't know where else. What's astronomy? What's the difference? I don't know, astronomy. You all know what I mean. You know when you just have one of those moments where your brain doesn't work? So this one is, again, one of the first ones when I started playing around with everything. I stamped it in white and I thought, it'd be nice to highlight. I can't remember, I think I just highlighted this. So I stamped it with stays on, has to be with stays on, onto mirror card. Excuse me, love the moon phase, Maria. Yeah, really want that as a tattoo. So yeah, looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Really, really, I just love this symbol, you see it everywhere. So it has to be stays on onto mirror card, then cut that out, and then I thought actually let's frame it as well, and it just works. You can pick out so many elements and you can do the same sort of technique with the other stamps. So we're looking at this stamp set, so that was this one. And then in the background you can see we've got those papers as well. And lastly, there is a video on how I did this one along with another card which I've put away. It wasn't my favourite, so I've put that away today, but I'm going to come back, I'm going to revisit it and make it better. But there is going to be a video go up on YouTube soon showing this, so that's just in the background. The pussycat was just double stamping, so I stamped it in lilac and then added some black, it's actually black soot distress oxide to the bottom of the stamp and re-stamped it. So you get that sort of shading at the bottom, and then silver. I did use silver, there we go, use silver there, but then with the pastel colours I thought that worked for the moon and the planets and that there. Okay, let's put all these aside. Which ones am I going to? So I'm going to make this one. I'm going to keep that in front of us so that you can see what we're doing if anyone's just joining. First of all, we're going to concentrate on this stamp. And I'm going to go purple with this one, so that will be different. So the first thing I want to do is of course stamp the image. Now when I did this one I actually stamped it onto a pale green, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to stamp this onto a pale purple or lilac, and that's because when I do my ink blending I'm blending a complete panel, a full panel here, and I don't really want to have any white showing. Not where I don't want it anyway, not from the blending. So let's just get my stamping platform. So I thought if I go onto a coloured cardstock, if I miss any areas, you know when you're blending and sometimes because of the grain of the paper you get little speckles of white that don't quite cover, you notice them later. That's what I didn't want. I didn't want to have little white bits. So by going onto lilac and blending darker colours on top, anything that shows through will be a nice pale lilac. So I'm going to go into the middle of this. The reason I'm doing it on a much larger piece of cardstock is because I want bits to hold while I'm inking and blending and things. And I've already prepared this. I don't want this middle bit to stamp. What I want is just the frame and, like you say, the moon phase and the stars and everything. I want that. But not this centre bit for this particular design anyway. So I've covered that over with a low tack tape. I'm going to be doing, not very exciting, but I'm going to be doing embossing. So let's just put my anti-static bag. These are from CraftStash. Again, I think this is actually a CraftStash branded one. They may have rebranded them now to Creative Craft Products, which is the kind of the old CraftStash brand, but I had a feeling that they were all still CraftStash branded little, what are they called? What are they called? Anti-static bags. There's the one. I love the difference between the cards you made with the variety of ideas. Thank you very much. You're getting labyrinth. I'm getting labyrinth. 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 Why am I not saying that right? Yeah, labyrinth. It is. David Bowie. One of my favourite films. It just didn't look right. I think it's because I get that condition called labyrinthitis. So whenever I see labyrinth, I think of that. So I can now take, this is just the low tack tape from CraftStash, the creative low tack tape, the ones that come in a roll. So I can just release that. Put that to the side. Because I've overlapped the tape, that's something I can keep. I can actually keep it on my stamp there and just reuse it. So that should just ink. I love labyrinth. It doesn't sound right. Just labyrinth. It's not just labyrinth, is it? Is it? No. Come on. What's the name of the film? Is it just Labyrinth? It is, isn't it? You all know the one anyway. There. So hopefully that has all stamped beautifully. I can see the clouds, I can see the moon phase, and I can see the frame. That's all I wanted. Now I'm going to go over that with white. Is it the labyrinth? Is that why it doesn't sound right? Either way, brilliant film. I always wanted to be Sarah when I grew up because she was so pretty, like naturally pretty, wasn't she? Ludo. Right, I'm not going to start saying things from films because I'll just go down a whole other rabbit hole there. But yeah, I get it. It does look a bit like it. Doesn't? Oh no, Sam! I'm going to be humming that the rest of the day now. And what were those little things with the red hair? You know the ones. What were they? They were weird, weren't they? So from previous stamping, I've got a little bit of white embossing powder just sort of clung to the stamp anyway, where the stamp probably wasn't clean. Had a little bit of moisture or ink on it before, so just brush that off. How many people are humming that dance, magic dance? I've got to say it. No, it was just Labyrinth, was it, Joe? I don't know why I was thinking it was something else. There we go. Okay, so let's heat set that. I'm not worried again. I'm not worried if I've got bits on the edge. This isn't the most exciting white, but you can see there. You can see we've got the frame. Nice frame just get started with. It's a bit silly me starting near my hands, isn't it? It was filmed at West Wickham Park. My son works there. It's my favourite film. Yeah, brilliant film. Absolutely brilliant. Actually scared me. The beginning bit used to scare me. It is weirdly wonderful, that's right. Pan's Labyrinth's a very different film. Yeah, so the beginning bit would always sort of creep me out a little bit. I don't know, but I suppose that's supposed to, isn't it? He's supposed to be sort of scary, really. Strange. Anyway, so just heat setting this. Oh, do you know what heat embossing always seems to take so long? Oh, I wanted to, you know, she's in that sort of crystal ball and she's got a really beautiful dress on. Absolutely gorgeous dress. I'm not going to spend the whole hour talking about the film Labyrinth for those who haven't seen it and don't know what we're talking about, but the dress, when she eats the peach, and oh, that dress is amazing. She's really pretty. Right, there we go. Okay, need to make sure every part is embossed because we're going to, oh, there's a little bit in the middle that's not. We're going to be using it as a resist. There we go, I think we're done. perfect. You can soon see if it's embossed or not, if it's not glossy and it's still sort of matte and grainy. There we go, lovely. So I'm just going to pop this aside for now. I'll come back to some stamping in a moment. Let's get this effect going. So I've got Seedless Preserves is going in the centre and Black Soot on the outside. Now this card was aged iced spruce. Carol loves all that weird fantasy stuff. I'm trying to keep up with the comments. Gonna have to go watch again. I know, it might be a weekend thing. The dress and the song, I know. Yes, see, Amy said it as well. Got that in, yeah, the one with David Bowie, Elaine. Got that song in our heads now. Love the stamp on the purple. Yeah, I mean, it looks nice, just the white. Anyway, if you wanted to go for something pastel, you could maybe add like a pale blue to that, have a really sort of almost unicorn colours. You could go down that route. If you've got any sort of image, so for example, my floral folk art that I launched, 2 weeks ago, the butterflies, the floral folk art butterflies would sit so perfectly in there, and I'm going to have to do that, aren't I? I will do that as a card at some point. So this is the colour that I used for that. I did start off with cracked pistachio underneath, but it wasn't the right colour. It was too bright. It wasn't sort of dusky, pastely enough. So I went over it with ice spruce. So it may have changed the colour a little bit, but this is just the most beautiful colour once it's inked and blended. Honestly, it's actually one of my favourites, and it's strange because it's not a bright colour. All of the oxides and the inks, distress inks, I think, well, there's a few that have sold out, but most of them will be available on CraftStash. So I'm going to go in the middle, and this is what I mean. I'm going to cover the whole thing. So I could have used white cardstock, but this is just going to prevent me from getting any white patches left over, which probably won't actually in this project be the end of the world because I've got white speckles with the stars. But just make sure the centre's really dark. You can already see. So you could just leave it like that, and just a trick, if you want to blend out to nothing, you can do that using a clear embossing ink as well. If you want nice smoothly blended out, faded out colour, you can use a distress, doesn't have to be distress, sorry, an embossing ink, and just blend around the outside, and that helps. But I'm going to go in with my black now, quite strong on the outsides over the frame, so obviously using the frame as a guide. I haven't done this, so I haven't trialled out these colours yet, so this is new to me as well. I've probably done them on other projects, but not for this card. My black soot, because I don't use black soot usually for a large area, it is a smaller blending brush. It's one that I had before CraftStash started doing their own blending brushes, and I've just kept it because it's got a black handle. There we go. And then I'm going to go back in with what's left on my purple, my Seedless Preserves, and blend once around the edge. I'm going to come back again with what's left on my brush and go back over that again, and I'm just going to keep doing this until I'm happy. I do have something, I need to clean this because I keep getting little bits. There we go. I'm going to come in a little bit in the middle. I just want the centre to be bright. There we go. Okay, now once everything's on top of that, it will look great. So I'm going to take a bit of kitchen towel and just buff off any of the ink from the white emboss to really bring that up there. And I'm going to use my scissors. I don't want to put that in my trimmer. You can do this in the trimmer, but I want to be really accurate about the edges I have. So I want to go a little bit of the black edge outside of the white embossed line, and by using a really big pair of scissors I can get a nice accurate cut. Let's have a look. Black and purple looks good together, it does, doesn't it? Thank you, Maureen. How are you? I don't know if I've said hello to you yet. Love this launch, it's so different. Yeah, this is the idea. I wanted something different, and hopefully I've got it. Thought you had a mark in the middle. Oh, hang on a minute. I thought you had a mark in the middle, but it's just my dirty screen. I did that the other day. I actually said during either a live or a video, I said, oh, and there's something on the paper there, and it didn't move, and I realised it was a little white something, probably a bit of white paper on my screen. So yeah, we've all done it. Now I can see I've got a little bit more buffing to do on some of the white there. There we go. Now that's cut away. Doesn't that look better? And I think with this, maybe the not so perfectly blended kind of looks a bit more like the smoky galaxy, maybe sort of mixed potion look. Do you know what I mean? So if it's not perfect blending, just bringing up the embossed edges a little bit more. Yeah, see, it's gonna look good. Now I'm gonna do this one. I'm going to do this one horizontal, I think, just so it's a point of difference. So you can see how we've got so far. I've got a card base ready. So that's going to go onto a black card base, like so. I've run out of CraftStash glue, the Creative Craft Products glue that I love. I'm out and I'm absolutely gutted, so I've gone back to my Cosmic Shimmer, which is my second choice. But there's some on its way. It's fine. It's ordered and it's coming to me. So there we go, black card base. I think I've said recently I'm really into coloured card bases at the moment. Coordinating, I just think it pulls everything together really nicely. Stunning, Lou, thank you. Must practice blending more, they look great. Like I say, oh, what colours did you use? Was that for the inks? The colours for the inks for this was Seedless Preserves and Black Soot, because Black Soot in the Distress Oxides is not black, it's more of a charcoal colour. If you want black, you can go with ink. Already looks beautiful, thank you so much. Perfectly imperfect, absolutely. It would make a brilliant Halloween background. If you love Halloween, this is going to be perfect. Oh, I'll have to do that, won't I? I'll have to go Halloweeny. So there's our card so far. Let's do some stamping, because these stamps, I love them. I love them. And I've actually now, what I've done, and you can do this at home with any stamp, if you've got a scan and cut, it's a good idea to stamp your entire stamp range. So when you've got something like these and you know you're going to be often stamping them out, now sometimes I stamp onto my card base, as I did last night with the VIP launch. A lot of that was on my card base, and then just a couple of them are cut out. But very often I'm going to want to cut these out. So I stamp them all black onto white, nice and clear, and I scan them in my scan and cut, and then I detect all the edges, and then I save those lines, I save that sort of where it's detected the edges as a cutting file in the machine. And if you've used a scan and cut, you'll know what I'm talking about. Apologies if you haven't and you've no idea what I'm rattling on about. But then you can have that, you can cut those cut lots of those out and then just stamp onto them. So the way, so Sheena used to always, she would die cut and then stamp. You can do that. So that just saves you doing lots of fussy cutting if you're in a hurry. But the two stamps that I'm going to use today are these two for now. I'm going to do Believe as well, but so let's do these one at a time. I actually have been stamping these just with a handheld block quite a lot recently. I don't know why, I just find it sort of quicker. They're nice small stamps, they stamp nicely. They're nice and primed now because they've been used lots, and I do find with any stamp, the more you use it, the better it gets, like the better it stamps. So this one has mountains in it as well, so if you know anyone who loves, for example, travelling, mountaineering, that sort of thing. Hilary, who works in marketing for CraftStash, is often in the comments for CraftStash. She lives in this sort of Snowdonia area, so she's always walking up mountains. So this would be perfect for her as well. I'm telling her, I'm saying it would be perfect for her. There we go. And then I'll stamp this one as well. Now I've already cut these out because you didn't want to sit and watch me fussy cut. Do you believe? Oh dear, Sam, stop it. Stop it, because I'll be humming it all evening. and probably all weekend. It takes me at least 24 hours to get a song out of my head once it's in. The stamp looks 3D. Yeah, it does. And it's a really simple shape. If you wanted to re-stamp it and put foam pads, cut out the mountains, put foam pads and raise those up. And then we've got the arrows there as well. Look at the detail. So the detail you can't see when I hold up my stamp set like that. You really can't see it because they're so dirty. But you've got all this detail in here and they're just beautiful. So I've stamped these. Where have I put them? And I've cut them out. 1, 2. Now this one I did break, and that's just me because I was being clumsy. So I cut it so fine that I broke it, but it doesn't matter. And I also did a butterfly as well, a little butterfly or moth. I think it's actually more of a moth, to be honest. I keep calling it a butterfly, but looking at it, it is a moth. So I'll save those. I'll cut those out later and use those again. But what I'm going to do with these ones is add a little bit of colour just to the tips of the arrows and to these. So I want that. So I'm trying to remember where I put everything. I was really careful about making sure I had everything I needed before we went live. So the same ink again, Distress Oxide, on a blending mat. This is one of the 6x6 blending mats. Yeah, it's an earworm, isn't it, Sue? She's doing it just to us today. 6x6 blending mat. It comes with an A4 blending mat as well, so a larger one. They come in a pack of 2. Really, really good, because I use them all the time because they're clear. People often think I'm blending onto my backgrounds and my mat. No, I have got a clear mat underneath. So what I've done is I've spritzed onto the ink there, but I'm also going to spritz some plain water at the side there too. So picking up with a small paintbrush the colour and just going to do the tips of the mountains here in a nice dark colour. This is where I start going quiet because I'm concentrating, so sorry if I go too quiet. Add some nice dark colour into those and then put my paintbrush, I just dried that off, but put it into the plain water and just bring it down. I used VersaFine, so it's absolutely fine to use with water once it's dry. There we go. That's just added a little bit of colour. I don't even know actually if you can see that because the light's ever so bright today. I'll get these lights sorted out soon. But just a little bit of colour. Looks like there's no colour on this one, but there is, I promise you. And there, put that there. That will blend itself out anyway. A bit more colour. And then I'm going to do the same on the tips of the feathers, but you don't have to blend these out because of all the lines. You can just brush it on, and it just adds a tiny bit of colour and depth. Shall we do? I didn't realise I didn't put a butterfly on the other one. I'm going to put a butterfly in this one though, because it's going to be a little bit different. Do a little bit on the butterfly as well. There we go. So dry that off. I know it's easy to just pop your mat aside when it's got ink on it and things, but actually if you dry it off, then you're not going to stick anything in anywhere wet. So these want to go, I want to start positioning now, and like I say, I'm going to do this one a little bit different to the other one. So because I've opened that up actually, I can make that circle a little bit bigger. So like so, and then I'll have the word believe on there as well. So foam tape, I've got foam sheets from CraftStash, and they're just so handy to use. Now the circle in the middle, I'm going to raise up. Let me just, the ink blend's amazing, thank you, it looks 3D. Fussy cutting. Now I do cut quite a lot using a craft knife. Again, it is the CraftStash one. I'll just see if I've got it here. CraftStash one, and it comes with blades. My fingers do hate me after a little while. I have to have a rest sometimes. But yeah, I just think you get a better look than trying to get scissors around there. Sometimes I use scissors, and my favourite scissors to use are the Fiskars ones, embroidery scissors actually. I never use them for fabric or embroidery, but they're my favourite ones to use. So I don't know if you just noticed, I just inked round to the edge there with the black ink that was left on my brush, just because I had a white edge there, and I'm going to do the same on this moon as well. The arrows are a little bit too fine to do. Of course, you don't have to cut these out. You could when you do the frame and stamp and emboss that in white, you could then go and stamp and emboss these in black and put embossing powder over them, clear or black embossing powder. The only thing you won't get is the white detail inside. It does make a big difference. Then I'm going to cut down the foam here, and I'm going to pop that in a few areas, a couple of areas on the back of the arrow. You don't need to put everything with foam on them, just the main body of it. I mean, most people would look after a card if they got one like this, wouldn't they? They wouldn't be throwing it around or anything. Protect it in its envelope as well. A couple of little bits on the arrows. So who's got weekend plans then? Elaine Jasper got one like that. Oh, hang on a minute. Sorry, my comments scroll up. You've got one like that, craft knife, use scalpel blades, and it's super sharp. That is super sharp. And when they're sharp, they cut beautifully. When they're dull, they don't. They really don't. Thank you so much. So lots of excuse me, lots of lovely comments. Manicure scissors are nice for fussy cutting curves. Yeah, absolutely. Next door neighbour's drilling, Maureen, on the wall you're sitting next to. Oh dear. Just give them a knock. Look, you're busy watching CraftStash. Don't they know that? Debbie, never thought of using embroidery scissors. Yeah, they are, well, the Fiskars ones that I have two. They have the orange handles. They are brilliant. They are so sharp, and the point is just perfect for getting in sort of in the corners. I've never been a big fan of fussy cutting, but I think it's because I've always been in a hurry, and it's not something you can do quickly, but I actually really enjoyed it because I wasn't hurrying when I did these, because I haven't got a huge amount to do. When I was actually fussy cutting, I quite enjoyed it for a change. There we go. I haven't glued that bit down yet, so I'm just going to bring this out a little way. Just going over the moon phase there, but it doesn't matter because we've got it on the other side. And then this is going to get glued down. Clear up my mess. Pop into the bin. So, oh look, the little pearl on the end of my glue stopper matches the card. Isn't that perfect? So I'm just going to put glue really on the blobs here. Blobs. And just the end there. You can see I've got ink all over my hands. Palms of my hand, my fingers. I was thought about doing my nails nice for today, and then I changed my mind because I thought, well, why bother? I'm going to get inky anyway. Yeah, that's okay. There we go, getting there. The butterfly I'll put on last because I want to add my sentiment. Now, I'm going to do the same as that Believe sentiment, so you can see how I did that. It's actually using heat resistant acetate. That's one thing I didn't check. Again, Sam, if you're free, could you check whether we've got heat resistant acetate? Unless CraftStash are watching, if Hillary's in the background, whether we've got it online, because it's some that I've had for a long time. So it's acetate that's heat resistant. That's all I can say about it. But it's what you need to do this technique with. So just grab my embossing, just trying to make sure I've got, there it is. So just as I would with paper on the acetate, I'm still going to use my anti-static bag, if nothing else, just to get some, just to release any sort of little grease marks that are on there. I'm going to come back to the same stamp set and use the word Believe, because I did it before, so you can see me use that one. There we go. And they're super sticky. There we go. Never thought of using it. Oh, hang on, my comments are not caught up. Used to be rubbish at fussy cutting. Then your daughter-in-law came round. She put a bottle on the desk right in front of me and said, "Keep the scissors pointing at it." There you go. Yes. So you moved the paper, not the comments. Not the comments. Sorry, I'm reading CraftStash comment there. To comment to being with a chance of winning. You move the paper, not the scissors. Prefer the colours in this version of the card than the original. Oh, thank you. Yeah, everyone's going to have a preference, aren't they? So when you press embossing ink into acetate, it will pick up the acetate. Okay, so don't pick it up and think, oh, where's it gone? And just gently peel it off. So make sure it's all the edges are stuck, because you're not going to be able to re-stamp that. Can you see that? I obviously had some black on my ink, on my stamp before. Then the white. I just love this effect, and I love that I can put a sentiment that's nice and bold over the top of other elements without having a matte on them. There we go. Let's heat set this. Where's my... There we go. Love them both, but I love the colours in the first one. You made more, I think. Yeah, it's going to be a complete preference. Everyone's going to have a favourite. I'm not sure yet. I think I like the... I do like both colours, otherwise I wouldn't have done them. But I think I prefer the orientation of the first one, maybe. We'll see when I've finished. This one's going to have a butterfly on it, so it may change everything. At least it means you can see where you stamped it. Exactly, yeah. It doesn't affect it because I've gone over in white. So these are big, big scissors. So you probably want smaller scissors for this, ideally. These are what I've got out next to me. And I am a lazy crafter. If I've got something next to me or I've got to go into the next room for it, I'll use the thing next to me. I'll make it work. It's really bad, isn't it? There we go. So it's a nice easy shape to get round anyway. And acetate will stick with your usual glues. You just have to give it time to dry. Yeah, so as CraftStash said, just commented, make sure as long as you're commenting or have commented, you'll be in with a chance of winning. I will choose someone at the end of the live from the comments, and it'll be completely random. I'm wondering whether... Okay, so where shall I put that? Should I put it slap bang in the middle? I kind of feel like it could even be elsewhere. So we want over the mountains, over the arrows, or in the middle. The first few comments. What's that last thing you used, Sally? Is this white one? This is heat resistant acetate. So, and wow, embossing powder. Oh, do you mean the tool? Which bit? Which bit? Arrows. So over the arrows. So over here. Is that where we like it? Okay, I'm going with it. So all I'm going to do is put with my fine glue applicator, just put a little bit of glue, but only over the words. I'm not going over the clear acetate, and it is a tiny bit because I don't want it to squelch out. If you've got too much, try lifting it off again. But I don't want it to smear onto the clear acetate at all. It will all dry clear anyway, but I don't really want it anywhere else. There we go. Believe. Okay, and then the butterfly, I can see exactly where the butterfly is going to go. It's going to just go on the edge of there. Okay, how's that, everyone? There we go. So there's another card. So that's very, very similar to this card, just different orientation, different places. Squelch. Did I say squelch? Moth. I know. I'm sorry, Tammy. It is a moth. It is a moth. You can tell by the body it's a moth, but I still call it a butterfly because we're just so used to butterflies. There we go. Oh, the tool. The tool. Okay, sorry, Sally. This one, heat tool, heat gun. There's lots of different ones around. Lots of them are long and thin and don't have. This is a bit like a hairdryer, isn't it? But it's not a hairdryer. It is an actual heat tool. It's from Ranger. This one I believe it's out of stock at CraftStash because I went to try and order another one the other day. Not that there's anything wrong with this one. I like to have two of everything, and I think it was out of stock, but keep an eye because it will soon be back in. Both are beautiful. Thank you so much. Okay, so I've got another card to make. I'll just crack straight on and do that. If anyone wants to browse, there is a link to CraftStash down below, but it'll be linked on the homepage. You can only get it on CraftStash at the moment. This was due to go on TV. I'll be completely honest with you. It was due to go on TV as a launch on TV, but we've had to launch it this week, so I don't quite know what I'm going to do on TV yet. That is my job for this afternoon, to work out what I do. So there we go. Okay, so let's put those... Oh, where do I put them? Because that's still drying. Up on the top there, on top of my distress inks. Now, new card. Okay. I've got all my bits in here. This is a little bit different. Well, it's a lot different compared to the card we just made. I've got lots of bits already cut out, so I'm going to be putting everything together. Let's start with that stencil. There we go. So that's the sunburst stencil. I'm going to use this. To be honest, this stenciled area, once the card's put together, you're not going to see a lot of it, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm going to do it anyway, just so you can see what the stencil looks like. And something I love to do with this stencil as well, I'm going to use the purple, just because it's out, and also it matches really well. Seedless Preserves goes really, really well with the papers in the paper pack, as does dried marigold if you've got that colour. So I'm going over the whole sunbursts, making sure I get all directions into this, particularly the smaller ones. The smaller the ones are the ones you want to do little circles over to make sure you really get them. And then I'm going to go with black again. So again, Seedless Preserves, that one, black soot, and I'm going to go round in the centre here, just in the smaller ones with the black. Now, like I say, this is pretty much going to be covered over when I've finished, but it's a good reason for me to show you how the stencil works. It'll just be hidden under the card. So I just think it's a beautiful stencil, and it can so easily be used. There we go. So black into purple. Isn't that lovely? It can so easily be used in other ways as well, like other cards. So I used a much simpler card there. I used that stencil with the gold embossing. It's just really pretty, and it's one I've actually wanted for a long, long time. But that aside, to try to remember to clean it up later. So there's my background for my card. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to stamp onto, I'm going to have to get some more cardstock out. So I use the textured white cardstock. So this is 280 GSM, but as you can see on here, stamping, heat embossing, colouring, it literally does everything. But because it's 280, it's also ideal for construction as well. How are we doing for time? Yeah, I'm overrunning, everybody. I apologise. I hope you don't mind. Hopefully some of you can stay with me, because I've still got a whole other card to make. It's funny, isn't it? I had that whole last card literally prepared, really, and I still overran. It's right, isn't it? 1:30, yeah. Oh, well. How many stencils in the collection? There's 2, and they're in one pack together. So, hi, Brian. How are you? Good morning from Mississippi. Love that word. Love, love, love that word. Heat gun is back in stock. Thank you, Debbie. There you go, it's back in stock. So, heat gun. I couldn't live without my heat gun, to be honest, which is why I wanted a second one. If I ever lose it or it goes wrong, I'll be lost. Heat embossing, drying off my oxides and my inks when I've been blending, all these different things. Couldn't live without it. So, the stamp I'm going to be working with this time is the other one. First of all, just going to stamp this for you. I've already cut out, I've stamped and cut this out. So I've stamped this onto white cardstock, and I've also stamped it onto the purple cardstock as well. But I just wanted to show you how it stamps, because I like to actually see something in action and see how well it works in real time, in real life, rather than someone saying, here's one I made earlier, because you never know, do you? You know what I mean? So I like to just show you how beautifully everything stamps. This one is a big stamp, so I usually end up going over it a few times with my ink and pressing down in all the areas. How are we doing? Oh, look, perfect. See? I mean, how much detail could you pick out? Every time you do a card, you could pick out a different amount of detail in different areas and fussy cut areas out. You could take your colouring pencils to that. I mean, that would look amazing if you've got colouring pencils, and just start, maybe pick 3, 4, 5 sort of colours within the same sort of range, so blues and greens, or oranges and reds and yellows, and just start colouring and just see where it ends up. That'd just be really therapeutic. So like I said, I've stamped this in white, and then I've also stamped it onto one of the papers. So one of these, I can't remember which one it was. I want to say it was, no, it wasn't that one. Might have been that one, possibly. Anyway, it doesn't really matter too much. But I've stamped it, and what I've done is I've first of all cut out let's untangle that. So I don't know if you can see from the frame around the edge, I've cut that frame out. Okay, and then I've also, here's my excess pieces. I've also cut out other bits as well. Now where are they all? Just making sure I've got everything. Right, so I cut out circles as well. So the big circle and 3 little circles. These are my excess pieces. I just wanted to keep them to show you. So let's put this aside. Let's start building this card. Now you can sort of see where the elements have come from. Hopefully it all makes sense if you want to recreate the card. So that frame is going to go down on there. Let's put that on first and make sure that I don't lose anything here. Again, everything's cut out, so hopefully it's just a case of gluing it all together for you. But if there's anything in particular you want to see, so something in particular stamped or die cut, I can do that. Not got a lot of time. Love the stencil set, thank you. Seedless Preserve's your favourite. Yeah, I seem to have used it a lot. Moth, I know, moth. And back. Seedless Preserve is what I was working with last night with black soot. Ah, yeah, that's what I'm doing today. There we go. Oh, I'm back. You are back. Is that what you were saying, Louise? You are back. There we go. So popping the frame on there. Now the reason I did the white version is because I wanted this part. Okay. Now I could just put that on there like that, but I've decided to go with the dream catcher. So if you love the dream catcher, here we go. I've already cut it out. Cut it out from white. Isn't it beautiful? These are really fragile, just so you know. So just be careful. Very easy to sort of accidentally snap them off. Now I put that on there, and I thought, okay, that's nice. It's textured and it's, yeah, but it doesn't stand out hugely. So decided. This is where I suddenly realised actually the starburst doesn't show up, but it doesn't matter. I thought I'd put a bit of grey underneath and then we'll be able to see that a lot more. This is going to be a really textured card, really different. So I'm going to put glue on some of the main areas of this, just a little bit. Down there, down the feathers. I'm not so worried about all these strings, because if they're a little bit looser, a little bit out of place, it doesn't matter. And to layer, so that's a dark grey. I thought about doing black, but then I thought no, dark grey will be okay. I'm just offsetting it ever so slightly, so not a massive amount, but it's going to be enough to give it depth. And then just check the same with the feathers as well. I don't want them too far off. Like I say, the strings don't really matter so much. And then what I also did is I cut the die cut from parchment or vellum. I'm not sure which it is. And I'm just going to place those over as well. Even more texture. There we go. Let's see these comments. They're not scrolling. Yesterday there was a trouble scrolling. You must have a die. You have a Dreamcatcher die somewhere. You must find it out. Yeah, I love this one. It's so detailed. I've not seen one like as detailed as this anywhere else before. I mean, there might be one. I've not seen one before that's got as much detail in this. And like I said at the beginning, I love that you can cut that mandala out from the middle, which is this part. See, cut that out. There's obviously elements in there you can cut out as well. You've got sort of leaves and flowers you could make from that. Just with the vellum, it's just giving the feathers a lighter, more feathery look. Is that a thing? I'm just using a little bit of glue just on the very tips of the feathers here. Just a tiny bit. So the ends of the feathers can lift up. There we go. Okay. So that's going to sit over there, and that just makes that stand out a little bit more. I think actually, no, there's no need. If I wasn't putting the triangle over the top of the mandala, I'd probably do this in the centre as well. Like so, just with the excess ink, and then put that over the top so you've got some colour in the middle. But I don't need to do that really, because That's going to be going over the top. Now this is also going to be inked. I think I've already done it actually. Ink the edges with black, and very often I'm just using the ink that's already on my brush. I think you must have got it free from a magazine, good few years now. Yeah, there are a few mandala dies about, but like I say, hopefully this one's a little bit different. Now I'm going to put a big square of foam underneath in the centre of this dream catcher, because like I say, triangles going over the top, lots of other things going over the top as well. Make sure that's, whoops, going to be in the right place because of the bottom of the card, and then that's going to be over the top there. This is why I love the foam sheets, because you can just cut yourself a nice big piece of foam that fits. Trim the corners. Oh, that went flying. This looks so cool. Thank you. To me, hang on a minute, let me see. To me, but this one's more beautiful. Oh, me too, sorry. I'm reading it wrong. To me too. So that's going to fit in the centre there. Now, what else I also did with the papers is I cut some strips. There's 7 strips, different widths, and I rolled them up, and I glued them onto a base of cardstock and put a piece of twine. Now that's really solid. It's all glued, all rolled up. So that's something I actually prepared earlier on rather than sit and do it with you now, and it's just bringing in the colour from that frame, so the purples from the frame. If I just hold this up, so obviously you've got the glare of the light a little bit there, but it's actually a nice deep colour. So I'm going to put this on, and I can glue that. This is why I put that panel of card on the back, not only to hold it together while they dried, but also to give me a nice surface to glue to. So put those on there. Then I've stamped. So I showed you earlier where I'd stamped and cut out the frame, and I said I've cut out the circles as well. So these are here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think if I was to do it again, I would stamp and emboss these in white and put them on rather than black. You lose a lot of the pattern in the black, but it's fine. I've done it now. And I'm just going to use a little bit more black and go around the edges of these, particularly that larger one, and just start placing. So you should work in triangles. Did you know that in your papercraft projects, whether it's scrapbooking or card making? I was trying to think of other projects then, or things like that. If you work in a triangle, it draws your eye around the page. So this dot's going to be just up there. They're just random. And it's little details like this that just adds interest and makes you see something different every time. There we go, little dots. Then I've got the leaves. Now again, these are stamped from the In the Stars set, and you can see you've got all those little dots, a little sort of galaxy effect within the leaves, and I'm just going to glue the stems. Oh, do you know what? I'm also going to add, have I got any foam pads? I'm asking you all, I don't expect you to know. I don't know if I've got any. Yes, I have small foam pads. These are from CraftStash. I wanted smaller ones, saves me cutting them. I'm just going to put one foam pad on the end of each leaf. If I can get one off, or just on the base, sorry, of each leaf. That's just going to keep them flat, but also keep them raised up. It's a bit fiddly that. Where's my pokey tool? My pokey tool came from Sam's tool wallet. So my pokey tool, my tweezers, and I've got a bone folder, which is actually at the other studio at the moment, but they all came from Sam's craft wallet. I just think they're brilliant. I wish I'd discovered them sooner. There we go. Probably a good idea to put your glue on after that. And I'm going to lift this triangle up. I don't actually think I want my stems to be as long as that. So this is where I start making a mess, because I start changing my mind about things. It's all going to be worthwhile in the end. So just pop those under there. Where's that other one? Oh, it's stuck to my thumb. Where is it? It's stuck there. One there. And then I'm going to do the same. I've got a couple more to do. So how are we all doing? Ron's got one that she can use, he can use, sorry. Is it Ron or Ronnie? Is it? I don't know if you're male or female, I apologise. My ex-husband was called Ronnie, so I assume all Rons are male. I don't know. Everything is loose. Yes, so everything I'm using is from the new textures range. All the dies and stamps anyway. From the new textures range called In the Stars. And it's just been released, well, last night, but today's the official launch day. So take these off first, not quite so messy. Probably going to trim this stem as well, I think. And tuck that under there. And then one more this end as well. And then I've actually cut one of those and I've cut it into a couple of smaller stems. These can just glue on, I think. Just to spread them out a bit. Can you all see that still? It's building up, it's getting there. Lots of detail on this. Almost finished. So I've got butterfly moth. I've also coloured with that purple that we used before, the Sealess Preserves. I've coloured the ends of the wings in. I've got the word dream here, and I've matted this onto the black, the CraftStash, or the creative, sorry, black foam, the adhesive foam. So just taking the backing of this. I've got lots of twine bits, strings, but I think that's fine. I'm going to tuck this under. About there is the middle of the word, isn't it? And what I would do is take my anti-static bag and just touch that on the sticky bits a few times to reduce the stickiness. Those bits that are sort of hanging there but got sticky. Probably a good idea to try do that before you put it on your card. But the word dream, and then so the word dream is actually going to be partially hidden as such. I'll hold this up in a minute and we'll have a look at all the detail, because I've got the moth just balanced on the M there to give that a second to set before I lift it off. Right, is that everything? I think that's everything that I planned on putting on that card. Now I've piled a lot onto there, but let's have a look at that now. Lift it up and have a look at it properly. So we've got, there we go. Hopefully you can see that a bit better now. We've got all sorts of detail. Love this one too. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Debbie and Andrea. Yeah, there's a lot. Now this is one, if I turn it this way, you can see this is one you're going to want to put into a box, or certainly a padded envelope. You don't have to go that deep, but of course with the rolls of cardstock and with the foam as well, you know, there's not a lot of choice, but you could leave that out. You could just put little strips of cardstock if you wanted to do something similar, but it's a very, very detailed card. But this is, I love this sort of style. So they're the two cards that we've made today, nicely colour coordinated, all using the Textures in the Stars range. Now I'm just going to do a scroll and a random, hang on, I'm going to have to do it on my phone because the computer only shows me the recent ones. So I've got my phone here, I'm just going to do a random scroll and Sam, you're not having it. I landed on Sam's comment, so that's someone, Sue Pollock. So this collection looks fabulous. I do love a dream catcher. There you go. I've just loved, I loved your comment. There we go. So Sue, congratulations. Sorry, Sam. Yes, I landed on you first, but you're not having it. It doesn't count. You work with CraftStash, so that's not allowed. So there you go. Again, just proves it's all very chosen at random. Congratulations, Sue. Please do email CraftStash customer service at craftstash.co.uk to claim your collection. The whole lot's going to be coming out to you. Everybody else, you can find it at CraftStash. Thank you so much for the support already, for those VIPs who joined me last night. All your lovely comments on social media. I've absolutely loved getting this ready for launch. It's been really good fun. I hope you like these cards. I will get photos of these up on social media as well as soon as possible and on the website. So you can really see, I want to get photos of the detail of this for you, because that light is, to be honest, it's driving me mad today, all of that light. But there, hopefully you can see a lot of that anyway. So yeah, again, thank you everybody, and I will see you next week. So next week Sam is launching a collection on Wednesday on CraftStash. I want to say 12:30 for that launch, and then we've got a brand new launch, a brand new range that you won't have seen before from us, launching on Friday. So join me and a special guest for that as well. So I'll see you all very soon. Take care everybody, and have an absolutely fantastic weekend. Bye bye.